Hi everyone and welcome to the round 11 wrap of Premier League. Steve Loader here, flying solo again. Pretty interesting round, a couple of surprise losses. The final 8 looking pretty solid and cemented 2 rounds out. I think there's got to be some upsets at the bottom of the ladder for things to change, so well done to all the teams that are sitting in the 8. Pro Shop team finally got off the canvas after 5 weeks, I think, in a row of losses. Ben recorded his first win for the season. I think our first 3 wins of the year happened without him in the team, so just remind him of that when you see him. We might start with our first match, which was Hackers versus Mixed Bag, and 138 Hackers over Mixed Bag. Steve Presser 37, John Clancy 36, leading the way for Hackers. And for Mixed Bag, Robbie George and Steve Morgan, Rob with 35, Steve 34. A pair of 33s to Kane Anderson, Mick Bajura. In the second match, Pro Shop versus Granddads, and Pro Shop with 145 getting over Granddads +1, 128. For the Pro Shop, we had Aaron Loader with 41 points and Karen Fitzgerald with 40. And Cole Johnson with 34, and myself and Ben sitting at the bottom there on 30. I think it was Karen's birthday on Friday, and Aaron's on the Saturday of our match, so a bit of celebration for our team. It's been a long time coming. Granddads, we had Jonty Jeffries 34, Peter Baldock 32, and our CEO Shane Glowry 32. In match 3, Dimple Balls getting over Hump Day, 148 to 141. Steve McComb showing the way with 39 points. Jonty Jeffries 38, Craig Healy 35, and Chud Jacobs 35. Craig Healy 36. And for Hump Day, James McLaurin, Neil Orchard 36, and the Giant Killer Carl Mathers 35 continues on his good form. He was the one who slayed us the day we played them with 41 points on that wet day. Not that I'm holding a grudge about that or anything. And Greasy Wallace with 34. Next match was Caddyshackers versus Hybrids, and Hybrids continued on their winning way, led by Kim Richardson with 37, John Bedford 33, Peter Bowick 31, and Len Drill and Roman Lewandowski 29. For Caddyshackers, Darryl Telfer 33 and Simon Chong 32, the best of those guys. Ladyboys had the bye, so had a nice win over the bye. Mick Mahardy, a solid round of 37 points. Match 6, high scoring one for the Cinderella Boys over Golf and Oldies. Cinderella Boys 150 to Golf and Oldies 136. Simon Putner 41 points, and Nick Raftelis 39. Nearly didn't make it to the tee, Nick. I think he actually had to drive out and park behind the second tee, so not sure what happened there, whether he snuck out and played an extra hole later or what the story was there. But Greg Cadd 36, Dean Jacobs 34, and for Golf and Oldies only Craig Opie 35. His wife's just started in our beginner program on a Monday morning, so Craig shortly to become the second best golfer in his family, a bit like myself. Dave Whitecross 35, that was really all that fired a shot for Golf and Oldies, and they sink to the bottom of the ladder. Thank heavens, because we were on the bottom last week. Thorns and Roses, our last match, getting over Reluctant Heroes 146 to 139. Andrew Beaumont 40 points, Mick Young 36, Heather Gunston 35, and Dave Cockcroft, get that one out, 35. And for the Reluctant Heroes, Mark Scholes 38, John Tomlinson also celebrating a birthday last Saturday. Now, not sure him and my son sharing one together, not sure what the go is there and what you make of that, but anyway, Johnny came out with 34 points, which if anyone saw his round from last week, I think it was 19 points. Now my mayo was it was the unluckiest 19 points probably ever played at Rich River. Apparently every bounce, every tree, everything that could have went wrong did go wrong, so good effort to fight back with 34. Steve Jones, 36 holes in a day, played 18 at Rich River at 7 o'clock and then out to Lockington for a mixed event in the afternoon. So it's a good effort by Steve. And Jade Bennett rounded them out with 33, but it wasn't enough. And Thorns and Roses had a great win and helped cement them well into the 8. So our top 8 is Hackers, on top Hybrids, Reluctant Heroes, Dimple Balls, Hump Day, Thorns and Roses, Mixed Bag and Lady Boys. Now Lady Boys have a bye I think in the last round and are 2 points clear of Cinderella Boys, so it's sort of make or break this week for the Cinderella Boys. They play I think Thorns and Roses. Prediction there is they should win that match, although Thorns and Roses are ahead of them on the ladder, so to speak. Reluctant Heroes have the bye, which is probably good. They can recover from last week's loss. Caddy Shackers and Golf and Oldies, well, I think Caddy Shackers will get the job done there. Dimple Balls and Lady Boys. So this is the interesting one. If Lady Boys get the job done, then I'm pretty sure they're pretty well set to play finals. If they lose, it does open the door somewhat for Cinderella Boys. So yeah, not dead yet, Cinderella Boys, but mighty close to it. If lost this week, and I think they're out, because then, as I said, Lady Boys have got the bye next week, and Mixed Bag 3% above them and a game ahead. So I suppose Mixed Bag could lose their last 2 matches, and effectively could open the door for Cinderella Boys if they were to win both. So yeah, a lot's got to go right for Cinderella Boys, but I think this week's matches might well decide. Pro Shop take on the Hybrids. Predicted draw there, which I don't know how that's possible given we've barely fired a shot for 5 weeks. Mixed Bag and Hump Day. Mixed Bag projected to win this one by 6. I think it'll be a lot closer than that. I think both those teams are going pretty well, and Hump Day are actually above them on the ladder, so their form line might have just dropped off a little bit in the last couple of weeks. Might be why that predictor's coming up with that one. And Hackers versus Granddads, and again you would think Hackers on top of the ladder, but the predictor has this one with Granddads winning by 1 point. So again, their form's probably a bit better over the last couple of weeks than what Hackers are. So but yeah, I think Hackers and Hybrids will probably be our top 2 teams, and then followed by Reluctant Heroes, who interestingly sit in 3rd spot but with the highest percentage. Now, percentage is always a pretty good guide in this competition as to what your potential is and your scoring when you're winning and got a full team on the park. So they're in a good spot again, Reluctant Heroes, but yeah, hybrids and Hackers would be obviously pretty happy with where they finished up. Hackers are ironically without a lot of input from Dave Pearson, been away for the last couple of weeks and still been able to get themselves up the ladder, so well done to those boys. So that's a wrap for this week's show. A bit of housekeeping to finish. We're going to run a competition for everyone over the last few weeks of the season. If you can nominate who the winner of the Brownlow medal is, you'll go in the draw to win this $45 Rich River putter cover. So have a think about that. Comment on the post who you think the winner will be, and yeah, if you get that right on your own, obviously you'll win it. If not, you'll go into the draw to win that cover. A bit of a hint that there's probably 3 or 4 names sitting at the top of the leaderboard at the minute, and they're all a bit left field. They're probably not people that you would think come straight to mind, but they've had a couple of really ripping days, but also been very consistent on the weeks where they haven't been probably in the top 2. So yeah, have a think about that. We do have some outstanding fees, so if anyone hasn't paid their Premier League money yet, if you can pop into the shop on Saturday and do that, or we'll try and catch up with those ones that are still to pay and just remind you of that. Now, hopefully you're all sitting down for this, but big ticket item that arrived in the Pro Shop this week, fully logoed Rich River tee, rubber top. Now the good mail is, or my mail, is I've played 10 or 12 rounds I think with the same tee, still haven't lost it, and that includes 3 at Barnbougle, which if anyone's played there, that's probably one of the easiest places in the world to lose golf tees, given that there's jungle about 5 metres off the end of the tee. Yeah, nothing too exciting, but the thing I will say is they just have a little wedge on the end, so when they're obviously in the ground and the club strikes the ball or the tee, they tend to not fly as far away. So if you're one of those people who sends your tee into orbit 10, 15 metres away and often can't find it, I think you might benefit from a couple of these. As I said, they're generally in a couple of metre radius of where you've hit your tee shot from. So that's my bit of, well, it's not trivia, but my bit of exciting news for this week. An arrival in the pro shop, a new rubber top tee. Anyway, enough said about that. And the other thing is, you might have seen during the week an email actually last Friday, I think it was, before the weekend, about we're attempting to address any issues with slow play. So from a pro shop's point of view, the first thing we really need is for people to get to us 15 minutes before the head off time. It allows us, if we need to make some changes, we can do so. And if you're late, often if you want to play with the group you're with, we're often having to hold those people back, and then if the next group isn't here, all of a sudden we can't send the field. So we don't want to get in that situation where we have to put someone at the end of the field, but we also don't want to hold the field up either. And it only takes 1 or 2 people late for us all of a sudden the field to get a little bit behind. So the first step in improving, I think, the speed of play is making sure that people arrive in good time, 15 minutes before the head-off time. So if you keep that in the back of your mind, that would be fantastic. And there's always incidents where someone's running late. If you are running late, try and give us a ring, and then we can at least, especially at the end of the field, it's really difficult if you don't know if someone's, are they turning up, are they not? You're left with the 2, relying on someone to turn up and then they don't show. It makes it a little bit tricky, and I think ended up with a 5 last week at the end of the field because of that scenario. So just keep that in the back of your mind, that'd be great. Good luck to everyone this week, and we'll see you out on the fairways. Thank you.